Well, hello, my friends. It's me, Stu, here for you. And if you have ever had the thought of launching a membership site, but the gremlins have creeped in and they have said, well, you've got to wait until you have a bigger audience, then this is 100% the broadcast for you. We're going to be talking to an amazing group, happens to be all women kicking serious butt. I'm just saying. But we're going to be talking to a group of ladies who have launched membership sites in very unique markets. As we go through here today, if you've got questions for them during the interview, please let me know in the chat. Just leave a comment, put question in all caps. I'll try to incorporate as many into today's broadcast as we can. But we're going to dive right in with somebody who, crazy enough, has leveraged her membership site in a bunch of different ways. We'll talk about that. Let's bring her right up. That is Lisa Spector. Lisa, how are you, Lisa?
I'm doing great now. It's great to be here and see you, Stu.
Yeah, it's great to have you. We're going to dive into your membership story briefly. But before we do, who is it that you serve in your market?
I serve adult classical pianists who want to learn twice as much in half the time with my piano ninja tricks. And you don't know this, but today is World Piano Day. It is the 88th day of the year. I'm going to a big party in an hour, so I'm all in black and white.
Wow, look at you. Okay, all right. What a day to celebrate piano. Okay, so I heard you say specifically adult piano players who they already got experience. Am I right in that?
Yes, they're intermediate to advanced level.
So
Yes.
why did you pick that particular niche? Like you've gone, people watching and listening may think, well, Lisa, why not go for the whole piano niche? Why segment to this? What would you say?
I used to own a music school, a location-based music school, and I taught all kids and I taught adults. And then after I sold that, I just started to form more of an interest with just teaching adults, and I found that I was really good at it. It was just what I was best at. I feel like that's my zone of genius. So that's fun in my membership.
Got it. Okay, this is amazing. So, excuse me. I want to go back to right before you launched your membership because today we're focusing on people who may not feel. Excuse me. Lesson for everybody: don't have nuts right before you go to do a live broadcast. I know better. Okay, so take us back to right before you've launched your membership. Where were you in terms of your audience? Did you have a big, massive audience of adult piano players that are at the intermediate to advanced level?
No, I looked at my stats. I had ironic thing that I do everything in 88 for 88 piano keys. I had 88 people on my email list. I had an Instagram following of less than 1,000, maybe less than a couple hundred. I was barely using Instagram. And so it was very tiny. It was really small.
Okay, so where then did you get the gall, Lisa, to launch a membership site when you had such a teeny tiny audience? Take us back to that moment.
I got the call from you. So during the, found you online and I was learning from you and I learned about the founding members launch and it was like, okay, I'm just going to sign up for this program since 2021. And I had actually tried a membership on my own without knowing your secret formula. And that was a total flop. It didn't work at all. So then when I joined the program in 2021, it's like, I am following the rules. And I did my founding members launch. And I was just like, oh my God, I was over the moon. But it
So
all
what
worked.
happened?
Everything.
You did your founding member launch. Did people sign up?
Yes. So I launched that tiny list of 88. I don't even think I posted any. I didn't have much social, so I didn't do much there. I just launched to the 88 list and I got 12 founding members, but 11 of them were annual members. So they sign up. And as soon as you get your first member, it's exciting. As soon as you get your first annual member, you're like, oh my God, this is really a thing. I'm really committed now. So, and 10 of those are still with me. So it just was so rewarding to get instant feedback. And I didn't have anything built. I didn't have Nothing. I just had a vision in my head of the transformation they were gonna experience when they learned my piano music.
It is fun. I just see Kathleen just posted. She's like, that is amazing, Lisa. And it 100% truly is. So let's just give people some sense of what that is. When you said an annual payment, what were you charging for an annual membership at that time?
So my founding members launch was 27 a month per monthly, and 270 a year for annual. So they get 2 months free with annual.
Okay, so Stu and the handy dandy calculator. So you had 2 members that were monthly and 10 that were
Uh,
annual?
but then one monthly converted to an annual the next month. So really 11 monthly, 11 annual and 1 monthly.
Okay, let's just do the math. So 270 times 11. So that's nearly $3,000 in upfront. And then you had your other $27 a month member. But $3,000 almost right out of the gate with your membership. Well, what goes through your mind when those members were signing up?
I cried. I mean, I was just like, oh my God. I was just like, it was so exciting. And these members are still they're coming to my party, you know, like they're still many of us have met in person. Like they're still with me. And it was just such confirmation of what I had to offer and my talents to help them were valuable. So it was so affirming.
Okay, fast forward. I know you've raised your prices. You've gone from $27 a month. Now, what is your price now?
88 a month. So it's
88
88
a
a
month.
month or 880 a year. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how many members are you at now?
So I'm at 35 now. So
Amazing.
I'm a turtle, and that's fine. I'm slow. I'm in it for the long run, so I'm just slow growth, and I just keep going forward and keep helping these members. And it's just they've become like my family. They're like
Mm.
we're very connected. Like this Facebook group we have, like I barely have to get involved. Like they just post what they're playing, what they're working on, what concerts they've been to. They lift each other up, and the really advanced players like really lift up the intermediate level players. I've had members, two members, who one who's when he finishes his undergraduate degree in cyber studies, he's going into his master's in music. Another got into her dream music conservatory after she was a member for a while, and it's so rewarding. It's so emotionally fulfilling. I can't even tell you.
I love it, Lisa. And I know that it's also led to a whole bunch of other opportunities for you as well because of the membership. One, I know that your private rate has gone up significantly. And I'm wondering if you can kind of unpack the other benefits that have come from your membership.
Sure. So my private rates, so I don't remember, I think I was $100 an hour back then. Now I'm 250 an hour. And I've had all sorts of my members. I test they're like my support, they're like my groupies. Like, so I test products on them. So I launched this program called the Piano Ninja Tricks Practice Buddy, where I'm really like virtually with them almost 24/7. And that went really well. And I gave it to them at the lower price, then launched it to the public. I got some great stories and then launched it to the public at a much higher price, triple the price. Today's World Piano Day. So I just made them another offer. Like, you get this discount in this bulk lessons, and 3 have signed up already. And it's really exciting.
Well, and this is where I think it's important for everybody to realize because your members have become one of the greatest source of additional revenue because you've made other offers to them. And there was one of my favorite stories knowing you was that you needed to move a piano. Talk to us about like
Yeah. So
what happened and how that played out.
Yeah, so here's my really, really big piano behind me. And I had to move, and I was in a time crunch. And I was like, moving is expensive. And then there's the piano, which is just as expensive. It's like, I got to raise this money fast. So I wouldn't recommend this when you're starting out, is you want to really establish credibility and relationship with your members. And they want to know that you're really helping them. But once you're in it for a while, so I launched an opportunity, and I didn't even offer it to all of them. I offered like to some of them a lifetime membership. And it was like, I couldn't believe it. So I raised $3,600 with that. And it was not who I expected, because I thought the more recent people who joined for $550 for the year or $750 the year, economically it would make more sense for them. But the members who joined the founding members, 3 of them who joined at $270, now we're playing $1,200 for lifetime. So that means they're invested, because they have to stay in another 5 years for this to really pay off financially. So that really told me something. That's like, I'm on to something here. And it's so rewarding when they feel like they're just going to support anything you do because they love what you're doing for them.
I love it. You have so many great stories of connection with you and your members. But as we wrap up this portion, Lisa, I want to ask you, what advice would you give to somebody who's thinking about waiting before they launch their membership until their audience is bigger? You've built a ton of momentum in your business and in your life because you went for it and launched with a teeny tiny audience of 88 people. So what advice would you give to somebody who's maybe in a similar position?
I would say stop thinking and just take action. It doesn't even matter what action you take. It doesn't matter if you get 1 member. You just want to be in the experience of feeling what that likes. You get your 1 member and you're in and you serve them. Like, it doesn't matter the size audience. You're going to learn so much from your members. So just take action and do it, and you will be so grateful.
Well, I appreciate it, Lisa. I just got a show here. Dorothy just made a comment. She just said she loves your earrings. So you're all set for your event tonight. That's fantastic. Lisa, thank you so much. Where can people go to connect with you outside of this?
So I'm very involved in Instagram, Lisa Spector Piano. However, I made a gift for everyone listening. So if you go to lisaspector.com/TME for the membership experience, you'll see whether I have many different avenues. So whether you play piano, there's things for you, whether you just like listening to piano, or if you have a dog, I also have music for canine anxiety. So go there, and there's lots of freebies for you on that page.
Amazing. Lisa, thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Have a great day.
You too. Super fun, right? Like, that's what's inspiring about these stories, is just seeing not only where it started, but how the momentum continues to carry forward. Here's what I would encourage you to do. Come join us for this year's free workshop. You can go to membershipworkshop.com. It's all starting next week, April 4th. April 4th is the date to mark on your calendar. And this is where we're going to walk you through how to take maybe a fuzzy idea for a membership and turn it into an idea that you take action on during the free workshop. And there will be people like Lisa who launch their membership with teeny tiny audiences during the free workshop, generating recurring revenue. In Lisa's case, she generated almost $3,000 from a teeny tiny list of 88 people in her very first founding member launch. You're going to learn how to do that exact process for free by going to membershipworkshop.com. By the way, pass it on to somebody if you know somebody who could also benefit from being there with us. Super excited for that. Okay, moving right along. I'm going to bring up our next guest, and that is Tracy. Tracy, how are you? Oh, hang on, Tracy. I think you're on mute.
Ta-da, there you go. Great to see you.
Tracy, great to have you here. We're going to dive into your story, but talk to us. Who is your market?
Well, I created a system for better understanding color. And at the time that I created it, my market was me, because I didn't get it. The tools that I had access to didn't make sense to me. I really felt out of place and out of alignment with something that I felt I should know, that everybody should know. And I developed a system. I started telling friends about it and other people, and everyone's like, oh man, I get it now too. And so that just kind of grew. And so primarily artists and users who use color in their work, teachers who teach other people about color, and really anybody, like I said, like me. I'm not an artist and I'm not an art teacher. I just really am excited that I finally understand something that I think everybody should. In the same way that everybody gets to read, everybody should be able to understand color. So that's where I'm at.
Well, and what's interesting is people watching and listening might be thinking, wait a minute, like, she's building a business around teaching people about color. Like, is that even a thing? Like, what, isn't that, what an amazing world we live in, right, Tracy?
Sure. Yeah. I think for a lot of people, we all learn it when we're little, and then it seems only artists or people who are creative or need it in their work go on to continue to understand it. And I think that's because a lot of the ways that it is currently being taught by a lot of people, or has been taught for many years, is just not quite the best way to do it, and it didn't work for me. So when I sort of came up with my own tweaks on the system and started sharing it, then it opened the door for a lot of other people. And again, I think it's just, we have eyes, we have a colorful world, let's better understand it.
Well, you're not alone in that, because Jennifer said here that she never found color theory easy in art college. And then Ty said, wow, what a really unique idea. So I love where this is going. So let's talk about your membership. This panel is all about like starting with the, what you've got currently available to you, even if that means it's a teeny tiny audience. So talk to us about your audience at the point before you launched the membership. Where were you at? Do you remember?
Sure. Yeah, in the early part of 2020, I had already been developing this system. In fact, I sort of debuted it with a Kickstarter in 2015 and thought that there would be just a few people who already knew my system backing me. It turned out it was way more successful than I expected. And then it kind of got backburnered a little bit, and I wanted to take it further, and eventually started an online school. And what always happened, it seemed, is at the end of these courses that I was offering, these trainings, I would have students say, I don't want this to end. I'm not done. I want to learn more, or I want to go deeper, or I want to stick around. I'm enjoying this so much. I'm finally getting it. So a membership to me seemed like a way to create that container for people to keep going, in the same way that if you're an athlete, you might play a sport for a season, but you're always going to go to the gym. You're always going to want to keep practicing. And that's often what I do. Is I don't tell people that I teach color theory. I teach color practice. You just want to make being looking at color and understanding color, just make it a regular thing, so that it becomes as natural as breathing. So if you are a working artist, or you're a teacher and you're trying to explain to people, it's as easy as breathing. So you don't really have to think about it or try and figure out, why doesn't this part of the system that I thought I understood work? And, so just making it more foundational, and membership is a way to bring people into a place where they can just keep going at it and getting better at it.
So for you, the clues came from the fact that you had been running this course, and there were people that saying, hey, I don't want this to end. And I hope everybody picks up on that, because if you do run any type of course, there's a very high probability that if you deliver an amazing experience, people won't want that to end.
Right.
And a membership makes that natural next step. So when you did your founding member launch, talk to us about what happened.
Well, it was sort of it wasn't just a membership. The tools that I create are physical tools. It's like a playing card based and color cube based system. And the best experiences come when people have those tools in hand. A lot of the courses that I was teaching at the time really relied on sort of downloadable versions, which work, but they can only take you so far. Everybody wanted the real thing. Everybody said, when are you printing your color cards next again? And that's a big step, because printing, the more pieces you can make, the more affordable it becomes. And I just couldn't realistically get my head around doing it for a small number of people. I wanted to make it as accessible as possible. So the membership offer that I presented to my mailing list, I didn't launch to the public. I just reached out to the people who already knew me, was a combination. You'll get the physical product, which are the tools that I create, brand new version, upgraded, using the feedback I'd had from the DIY downloadable stuff, and you'll get the training and support, so you'll better know how to use them. So it was kind of a physical product plus membership package. The physical product, I'm going to be completely honest with you, there were some stumbling blocks getting back into that, and it took longer than I had promised my members it would. So we did some training in anticipation of this arriving. And then I just kind of pressed pause on it. And I said, look, we don't have the thing yet. So hang with me, come back when we do. And I'm really excited to announce that that's just sort of circling back now. So now I get to gather again with those people and say, okay, everybody, get out your cards. Let's play.
It's awesome. Okay. So what would you say to somebody who maybe doesn't feel ready to launch their membership because they're waiting until everything is perfect? What advice would you give them?
Well, clearly, you know, the number of members that I got, I didn't know what to expect. I ended up with exactly 100, which felt like kind of a magic number. And that's 100 more than I would have had if I hadn't done it, right? I didn't know how many I was going to get, but I just thought, let's throw it out there, see who joins in. And even with the delays and everything, I just recently sent out an email to those 100 people saying, it's happening, people, we're going to get back on track. And 100 of them answered back. You know, they're ready,
Wow.
they're waiting, and they, you know, they can't wait to sort of resume. And you've said this before, you know, with anything that you're learning for the first time, as a teacher, it's hard to forget what it's like to remember what it was like to not know it. You know, it becomes easy for you. But even just teaching it once, it's just not enough. And so even if you do offer some kind of new training, people are going to get to the point where they get it, they cover the basics, but then when they go back and do it again, they're not the same person they were when they did it the first time. So you can go through that same material with them and just go deeper and go stronger and go wider, and the community that comes around that too, that everybody is in it together and sharing their experience and finding like-minded people. That's one of the most exciting things for sure.
You know what's interesting, Tracy, is I know a bit of your backstory, and I know that when you did your founding member launch, you had less than 700 people that you released or did the founding member launch to.
It wasn't even that. I mean, it was, yeah, if that, and of those 700 people, that was my list. But as we know, you might have 700 people on the mailing list. Are they all engaged? Are they all opening all the time? It was kind of a short runway. Okay, guys, I'm going to do this. And that was partly inspired by you to say, what are you waiting for? Just run it
Just
up.
Go for it. Yeah.
You know, and so I really did not know what to expect with that number of people.
I just want to take a moment and acknowledge you and point out a really important lesson for everybody. You had less than 700 people. You had over 100. You had 100 people of the 700 sign up. Tracy, that's an amazing conversion rate. And what I hope people pick up on, because I say this all the time, but you're a real world example of this, is that with smaller audiences, you have a more intimate relationship with them.
Absolutely.
And therefore, conversion rates are typically much higher.
Yeah.
So, like, people always think they got to wait until their audience gets to a certain size before they launch. But this is a perfect example of how a smaller audience can actually be a huge benefit with a founding member launch, because you'll experience amazing conversions. And 100 people signed up, Tracy. What went through your mind when you finished with exactly 100 members?
Well, at first, you know, I was pretty confident that I would get a handful. I mean, the students who, you know, were sort of active and still in touch and still practicing their color and everything else, I was pretty confident they would be into it and ready for it. And then when it reached a certain point, I thought, I might actually get 100. And then it became this, could you imagine if, you know, so it's fun to, I mean, those numbers in the end, they don't really mean anything. You can have 10 people who are super engaged, and that might be more rewarding than 1,000 people who are kind of like, yeah, I'll be there if I have nothing better to do, you know? So having a group of people, no matter how many they are, that really want to be there, not just with you, but with each other, which is a big part of what I want to create in my community. Is the community is really rewarding. There's really nothing you can trade.
Well, I want to just share some feedback that's coming in the chat. I'm not sure who some of these people are because it's not showing up for me, but somebody just said, that's incredible, Tracy. This is so amazing, Tracy, from Kathleen. You're getting tons of applause. Fabulous success. This is important. This is so encouraging. Thank you for sharing your story, Tracy. And what is important about this is to realize like that when you see other people do it, it is encouraging, it is uplifting because it gets your mind out of the gremlins that often tell us we got to wait until this or wait until that's happened.
Yep.
So thank you so much for sharing. I'm going to ask one final question from Mei Ling, who just said, how much did you charge for your first founding members?
Well, the amount that people, it was sort of like you get the membership and you get the product. So they were linked. I didn't want to do one without the other. I didn't want people to sign up in the membership and not have the thing to play with. And I also didn't want to sell people the thing and them not have the chance to spend time with me and really know how to use it. For the membership portion, I did a $36 for 3 months. And it was a finite thing because it was connected to the product. And I thought, I don't want to offer an annual. I don't want to go too much further than this. Let's just create this as a founding, not just a founding member lunch, but a foundation for the membership. And that's another advantage when you start early on. If you get a small number of people, you can actually, it's not overwhelming enough that you can't actually reach out to those individual people and say, what do you want? What do you want, Susan? What do you want, Becky? What do you, asking them how you can best serve them. If I had done a founding member launch to a list of 10,000 and got, 1,000 people sign up, I would never have had that opportunity. So yeah. I think that's another reason to get in early and take advantage of the smallness, right? The intimacy of a
Well, Tracy, here's what I know not to be small. I just did a little bit of stew math. And 100 members at $36 a month. That's $3,600 in recurring revenue right from that very first launch of a teeny tiny list of less than 700 people, which is pretty amazing. And then you multiply that by the 3 months. That's over $10,000. That's a $10,000 launch from a teeny tiny audience. Can we just in the chat? Can we just take a moment and acknowledge Tracy for the incredible progress and momentum that she created? Okay, final question for you, Tracy. Yeah. What advice would you give to somebody who has been thinking about an idea, but has been sitting on it and they've been waiting?
Well, like I said, you can speculate. On a good day, you can imagine the most successful thing ever. On a bad day, you can say this is never going to work, but thinking about it is not going to get you anywhere. You just have to kind of pull up your bootstraps and say, I'm going to try this. And either it's really going to work and I'll be thrilled, or it's not going to go as well as I thought, but I'm going to look at the things that did work, talk to the people that did opt in, and figure out how we can all make it together better.
It's such a great end point, Tracy. I appreciate you coming and sharing. I hope you go and check out the feedback in the chat. Like, people are lighting it up. They're look at all these amazing comments coming in. Talking and thanking you for all that you have been sharing and celebrating that progress. I appreciate it, Tracy. Where can people go to connect with you outside of this?
Well, my brand, my world is called Breakthrough Color. It was named because it was a breakthrough for me, and I'm delighted to continue to help other people break through their own lack of confidence in color. So Breakthrough Color on Instagram. My website is breakthroughcolor.com. Color with a U, one Canadian to the other. You'd know that, Stu. But if you spell it without, you'll get there anyway. So yeah, Breakthrough Color, that's me.
Awesome. Tracy, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for having me. Take care.
Cheers. Super fun, right? Lots of great lessons there. I hope you picked up what Tracy was putting down, which was a big lesson is that you don't have to get it right. You just have to get it going. And you are going to learn so much from those founding members. The other thing that I hope you took from Tracy was just, again, how quickly things can create momentum. She had a list, as she said, was less than 700 people. And not everybody opened up the email. So of the founding members, like her conversion is actually even higher. She ended up welcoming 100 members right out of the gate at $36 a month. That is $3,600 a month in month number 1 from that teeny tiny audience. It's absolutely incredible. And that's what can happen when you get out of your own way and just most importantly, get into action. We're going to be doing a whole lot of that during our free workshop. You can register by going to membershipworkshop.com. When I say it's free, I'm talking it's free. And we do this one time a year. I am so committed to helping people like yourself launch and grow memberships. It's what I have been doing now since 2008. Isn't that crazy? 2008, this is the sole thing that I have been focused on, is helping people like you launch, grow, and scale memberships. People with audiences, people with no audiences, people with tiny audiences, and all kinds of different markets. I want to help you be able to do the same. During this workshop, you're going to come away with clarity about what market you should enter into with a membership, what type of membership, what to provide in the membership, how to launch the membership. In fact, there will be people, hopefully you, who will launch your membership during the free workshop. And I know the gremlins might already be creeping in saying, well, wait a minute, I don't even have anything ready to be able to launch a membership. We're going to show you how to do it regardless, just like Tracy talked about, just getting it out there and working with your members accordingly. So come join us. The membership or the workshop is free. You can go to membershipworkshop.com. Okay, with that, I'm going to bring up our next guest, the one and only Brianna. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Stu?
Buddy, it's good to chat with you. Thanks for being here. We're going to dive into all the things, but give me the scoop. Who is it that you serve in your market?
So I serve geeky cat lovers. Basically, I have a kit membership where I send out the materials that you need to make these adorable little kitty. It's called amigurumi. It's a type of crochet style to make these cute little kitties every single month. And I have both a physical and a digital version of this membership, so people can get all of the patterns. And we come together for crafty hours once a month over Zoom. And it's just a place for cat lovers to geek out over cats and different fandoms. It's loads of fun.
Okay. I'm chuckling to myself because I know that there are people watching and listening that are probably thinking like, wait a minute, what? This is even a market? And not only that, but it's like a niche of a niche market. Like,
Oh,
it's
yes.
not even, we're not talking about crochet. We're talking about like creating certain character with crochet for a particular market. Like, this is amazing. So how did you even get here? How did you get to this market?
Oh my God, Stu, this has been just a crazy, crazy journey. As you know, I've been in your world for years, and some people watching today may even know me as like the travel person, because when I first started, I was doing this whole travel thing with my husband and whatnot. And I was trying it. And of course, launching a travel membership in 2020 probably was not the best of ideas. And I felt that it just wasn't really resonating very well with me. And so I decided to take a step back from that. And I had this project back in 2019 where I crocheted these little minis of my own kitties from their real fur so that I could travel around the world with a literal piece of my kitties with me, because I'm a crazy cat person and I love my cats and I hate leaving them behind. And during this break, it's like, you know what? I kind of liked that project I did a while back. What if I made these other little kitties? What if I revisited that? And then I said, well, what if I made a cat that looks like a Pikachu? And what if I made a cat that looks like a dragon? And I shared these things online and people were just gaga for him. I'm like, wow, there's a thing here. And so I just started pumping out all of these kitties everywhere. And it started just as this crafty outlet for myself. And then people were really drawn to that. And so it's like, okay, there's a thing here. And I was selling these online, but of course I had you in my ear saying, well, how can I turn this into a membership? Because I didn't want to be the bottleneck. And I didn't want to put this pressure on myself of trying to produce so many kitties to maintain a business and maintain my livelihood or anything like that. So it's like, well, what can I do to make this a business? And then I thought, well, you know what? There are a lot of people who love to crochet out there, and people who enjoy crafty things, outlets, whatever else, all across the gamut. And it's like, what if I offered this? And I had heard all these things from, Sarah Williams and her subscription boxes and everything else. And it's like, what if I tried doing a kit membership? And it took off, which is absolutely fantastic. So I've been doing that ever since. So now I can make kitties as fast or as slowly as I want to. I can go to markets or online, whatever else, and make whatever patterns that call to me. And then I have the membership, the recurring revenue every single month. And cue the confetti, because I just hit $500 of recurring revenue every single month. So that's a fantastic milestone. And I'm super excited because it's been a very slow burn for me, but I'm really excited considering I only launched this last July. So it's been an
it's a
incredible.
big milestone. And here's what I want people to think about, like, as it relates to that, because we talk about these milestones, and $500 a month is a big milestone, because let's think about bills. Like, we all have bills, and I think about that in terms of, oh my gosh, Brianna, you've just now got a membership business that's covering a big bill every month. Like, and then it becomes this fun game. Like, okay, well, if it can cover that bill, like, what other bills could it cover if we just continue to grow this thing? And so, super fun. So talk to us about how you went about launching this for the very first time, because my guess is that you didn't have an audience when you began this, right? So talk to us about that.
So you're going to love this, Stu, because I literally had zero audience. I had no following on social media. I didn't have an email list. I didn't have anything with this because I had been building this travel thing, and everything was over in that realm. And so I knew kind of how to do it, but this was a thing that I did for myself. And it's like, how do I actually launch this thing? And so for me, it was actually more of the in-person markets. And I had people coming to my booth and like, oh my goodness, this is so adorable. I love these things. And I just put a sheet of paper out on the table saying, join my mailing list, and if you want to know what's happening with me and the kitties and whatever else. And so people started joining my mailing list there. And I started with one member, it was super tiny, and they only stayed for the 1 month, and I lost them, and I got a new member the next month. So first 2 months, I only had one member, which is super itty bitty, but now I'm up to like 35 members, which is insane, including 5 who are annual. And it, like I said, it's a very slow burn for me, but it's been this gradual thing. And when I say I've hit that $500, that's amazing, because it's not that I have to reach for that 500. That's my new floor. And I get to like build on top of that, which is just so rewarding and so exciting.
It's super fun. And I'm super proud of you, because who would have known that you could build this side hustle business that is allowing you to be able to create these cute kitties and teach others how to do the same. And here, believe this or not, there's actually somebody, I'm going to just find the comment here, somebody in the chat, PB and Jelly, who also loves making these. Like, I've never even heard of these things before, and here we are. The community showing up is pretty amazing. So, Brianna, you have done this in 2 totally different markets: travel market, now this market.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give to somebody who is hesitating in terms of moving forward with their idea because they're waiting until they've got an audience? I mean, you didn't even have an audience and you move forward with it. So what advice would you give that person?
I would definitely go for it, because you never know what's actually going to resonate with people. I had no idea. And if I had sat down and just thought through it, and I'm an overthinker, so I'm definitely well attuned to that. If I had sat down and thought, what is this thing that I want to do? Maybe I'll make crochet kitties. I would never come up with this idea just on my own. I totally stumbled into this. And so if you've got an idea, run with it, because if it excites you, if it lights you up, chances are it's going to excite other people as well. And so you never know, and you might as well just like toss it out there and see if it sticks. I mean, worst case, people say no, and you're no worse off than you are right now. The other thing that I did want to mention is, in addition to my in-person markets, I also leverage Facebook ads. And I don't want people being afraid of Facebook ads when you have zero audience, because it's a great way to reach new people. And literally, don't be afraid of spending money. I did $1 a day. Seriously, if you can't afford $1 a day, you have no business being in business. So I definitely do those things. You don't have to have this big audience. It doesn't all have to be organic. You can reach people so well through all of these different resources that you have. Talk to people in person about your business. Be excited about it. Frankly, for me, I'm better at talking about it in person than I am on social media anyway, because they get that human interaction and they can see how excited you are about your business. And so they want a piece of that. So don't be afraid to talk about your business in person. Don't be afraid to leverage resources like Facebook ads, and just put your idea out there, because you never know who it'll resonate with. And the weirder, the better, because then you get the people coming out of the woodworks who are like, oh my goodness, I am exactly like you. And I love how your weird matches up perfectly with mine.
Well, as you say that, I love this comment from PB and Jelly that said, taking crazy cat lady to a new level. I love it. And let's continue to show Brianna love in the comments. Ty was just talking about because they're so cute. They're amazing. Linda saying that she loves it. This is so unique. I love it too, says Kristen. Erica, love, good to see you, buddy. Who said, oh my gosh, so cute and inspiring. Love the feedback in the chat. So Brianna, thank you for that. Where can people go to connect with you outside of this conversation?
Certainly. So I am Kitten Kazoidal, which is in my little bubble there on all of the social medias, but I don't expect people to remember how to spell that. So my website is super easy. It's just kittyminis.com. So everything is linked from there. You can find out more information about the kitties if you just want to adopt your own little adorable kitty for yourself, or if you want to learn how to crochet with us and get those kits. I actually have to now, I'm putting a cap on my physical kits because I'm getting so many new members. So that's a fantastic place to be right now.
That's amazing. Brianna, thank you so much for coming, sharing, and inspiring. And congrats on the momentum and hitting the milestone, buddy. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks so much.
All right, cheers. How fun is this? Okay, I'm going to add this to the list of like most unique membership ideas. Who would have thought you could build a membership generating thousands of dollars a year in the crocheted kitties market? I didn't even know this was a thing, but it is. And Brianna's showing us that it's possible. And so the reality of it is that you notice how she started not with thousands, not with hundreds, zero in her audience. And so I just share that because, again, she said it's, look, she's on a journey, but she started from complete scratch, but she's at a major milestone. Like, think about $500 a month. It's a major bill in a household that is covered from doing something that she loves, what she was doing anyway. So to me, this is just, there's so much greatness from what Brianna shared. And I hope it's inspired you in some capacity. I want to encourage you, come join us for our free workshop. It starts next week, April 4th. You're going to hear stories like Brianna of so many people in different markets, unique markets, who have found their people and have launched memberships and have successfully begun building them and turning them into incredible businesses. We're going to show you exactly how to do it. And I encourage you, by the way, between us girls, I'm going to lean into this. This is important. I encourage you to not only register for the free workshop, that's a given, but the gremlins are going to say, oh, you know what? Yeah, I'll just catch the replay when the replay's on. Don't catch the replay. Here's the why. There's a super secret segment that happens at the end of each workshop. Now, I'm not going to tell you what those segments are. I've got them listed on a piece of paper over here. I can tell you after the first one, the first super secret segment is so powerful that it is the exact same exercise that I took a private client of mine, Lisa, through about a month ago. And this morning, coincidental timing, I don't know. This is maybe the woo-woo side of Stu, but I think it's the universe coordinating things for me. But Lisa sent me a message this morning, and here's what she said. She said, right here. Okay. Oh my gosh, it makes me smile when I see. She said, do more of what works, less of what doesn't. This was a quote that she always hears me saying. And she said, okay, so I posted consistently and followed your advice, which is what we will cover during the secret segment, by the way. And with topics my audience likes, my big goal to grow her audience was to break the 10,000 audience member mark. And she said, I've more than doubled that in less than 30 days. You can see it on my Instagram stories if you want to see it up close. There it is right there. She doubled her audience in 30 days. She now has more than 12,000 plus people following her. All of what I walked her through is what I'm going to show you during the super secret segment. And that's just after the first workshop. So you 100% want to show up live because those are not recorded. Those are not provided in the replays. So that's just between us. Come register for free and then come join us live. You'll be rewarded for it. Okay. Our last and final guest of the day is the one and only Bronte. Hey, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
You know why I love interacting with you? You always bring so much bright joy to the broadcast. I love it. Okay, we're going to talk about your story here for a second. But before we do, who is your market that you serve?
I similar to Brianna, I serve the people who are like me. So the introverts and the passionate language learners who want to learn multiple languages and can't stop. So I help language learners go from feeling frustrated with their lack of progress to feeling confident and actually using the languages that they want to use in their day-to-day life.
Well, I got to say, the way you have positioned that, between us, I do want to follow up afterwards because I am determined to learn Swahili by the end of next summer. So you and me, we got to connect.
I've got you.
I need to download. Okay. So, all right, before we get into that, so let's talk about like, where were you before you launched your membership?
So I started my business in 2021. So it wasn't new, but I was new to memberships and I knew that memberships was something that I wanted to do. I've heard your name everywhere, like you're the go-to person. And I actually joined the workshop. And during the workshop, you gave us the challenge to do our founding member launch. And I was like, bet, I'm gonna do it. And I literally did it during the workshop. And then I was like, okay, now you've committed. Now you need support. And so I joined the course so that I could get the support to follow up. But that was pretty much how it happened.
So you did it during the free workshop?
During the free workshop. I remember you giving us like the script to write for social media. And you were like,
oh, wait. I'm teasing.
But I remember you just sharing just how simple it was, because I think people like me, perfectionists, we overcomplicate the process. And you were like, stop. This is all you have to do. And I was like, oh, okay. Let me do that then.
So what happened? What happened when you did it?
I got 10 members.
And what goes through your mind? You're going through the free workshop. You follow the founding member launch that we outlined, and you welcome 10 members. Like, what goes through your mind?
I was like, wow, okay, this is working. And now I actually have to deliver on what I promised, because I had nothing. I didn't have a space. I just had an idea. And I'm a planner as well. Like I generally like to have things planned out. But I was like, okay, what did I actually promise these new members? And let me make sure I actually deliver. So I emphasize, hey, we're building this together. It is not done, but I hope that you stick with me. And while I don't have all 10 members right now, probably half of them are still here. And that was a year ago.
That's amazing. Well, it's funny. I'm looking at the comments. They're coming in fast and furious. By the way, thank you all for participating. But like, people are really resonating with what you're saying. I'm just going to scroll down here. People resonate. Like, perfection is my enemy too. Kenneth is giving you lots of claps and then Ty said, "Wow, yes, girl, this is amazing. It's so hard to let go of perfection."
Yes.
It's a common thing. It's a common thing, right?
Absolutely. And as a
So,
perfectionist, I definitely I share a lot of what I do in my process because I know and I recognize that other perfectionists, both like in the TME community and also with my people, that is probably one of the biggest barriers, not wanting to mess up and fail and look silly or not to achieve the expectation.
right. Okay. How much were you charging those 10 members?
$25 a month.
So, girl, you're right out of the gates, $250 a month.
Yes. And I was very excited because I remember one of the things you said was, okay, if you do the math and this is how many members you need to be able to like make the shift. And I was like, okay, we're doing it. And it happened. And I was like, this is magic. What is happening?
This is my other favorite question to ask, a membership site owner that after they've launched. What did it feel like on that first rebill of those 10 members? Like that, the next month?
I was telling everyone. I was like showing the Stripe notifications on my phone to like my mom, my sister. I was like, do you see this? I'm getting paid. I'm getting paid again. I was like, the payment's here. They're staying and they're dialed in and they're loving what I'm slowly building out. It's working.
Okay. Super fun. So with that, I want to bring it back and I want to ask, and let's think of everybody watching and listening. They're hearing her story and I can see it in the chat. People are like Mary right here. She's just like, this is so inspiring. I love the idea of doing the work as you're learning it. And that's exactly what you're doing. Margarita was just saying, thanks for sharing. She loves your hair, by the way. And then this comment, I'm not sure who it was from, that just said, do it scared, start messy, just start. Like, this is it, right? This is it. And then somebody, let's see here, Mariah just said, gotta love the cash flow right out of the gate. So you've been doing this almost a year now. What do you think has been the biggest lesson you've learned during this membership journey?
I guess two things. Take action, because since that moment, it has gotten easier for me each time to not sit in the thinking process, sit in the planning process, and just try something. And to listen to the people that you have, listen to the members that you have, ask them questions, get the feedback, especially because it's a small group right now. I get to, and I think this was shared before, but I get to actually ask them what's working and what's not working.
Yeah, it's and that feedback is important. It helps really shape the direction that the membership goes, doesn't it?
Absolutely, because there are things that I've tried and then was like, oh, that didn't work, but thank you for sticking with me. Let's try something else.
Well, it's incredibly inspiring. I'm super excited for you. I know that there's been a lot of momentum that you've built up throughout the year, and it's only continuing to build. Where can people go to connect with you outside of this broadcast?
I am literally everywhere. All at the Polyglot Fox. But I think Instagram would be the best place. That's like the hub for everything. So
got it. Amazing. Well, thank you so much. It was wonderful to chat again, and I appreciate you sharing your story.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm telling you, incredibly inspiring. I can see so many of you are inspired in the chat. That's why I want to encourage you to come and join us for our free workshop. It happens and starts next week. There are 3 sessions. Actually, there's 4. 3 that are hands-on. Then we do kind of like a final recap that brings it all together. And each one of them, we're going to unpack tremendously important areas of growing a very successful membership. No matter if you've got an established audience or just like Brianna, you're starting from complete zero. We're going to show you how to begin building momentum so that you can actually launch like Bronte did during the free workshop. She came out of the free workshop with a $250 a month recurring revenue. I mean, how amazing is that? Let's do the math on that. That is simple math. Come on, Stewie. That's a $3,000 launch over the course of a year from a free workshop. That's a pretty good return on time, given that it's a workshop that's free, and you can come join this year's just by going to membershipworkshop.com. Friends, I'm telling you, we do this one time a year, and there's a reason we only do it one time a year. It's because we pour so much into making this an incredible experience. And as I said, because you're here live, so you get the inside scoop. Make sure you come and join us live, because there's a super secret segment. I'm not going to tell you when we'll be doing it during the broadcast, but there's a super secret segment that will not be included in the replay or recordings, but you're going to want to be there live, because it will set you up for tremendous success. In fact, I even heard it in the way in which Bronte described who she served and how she helped. That's my big hint for you, because when you nail this one piece, people are naturally leaning in and wanting what you have. And I'm going to show you exactly what that is during the super secret segment of workshop number 1. And then I was joking around and kind of shushing Bronte a little bit, because she was saying that we were giving away so many great tools and resources to help you actually be able to do and launch. And that's another perhaps super secret segment that might be after workshop number 2. So friends, it's worth the time to come and join us live. Hopefully I will see you there. You can register for free by going to membershipworkshop.com. It all starts next week, April 4th. Mark it on your calendar. Tell everybody you know. Let's make it fun. Bring your friends, colleagues, others who may have an interest in taking their passions, their expertise, and turning it into recurring revenue. Let's just make it fun. Come join us. Invite them to come and join us as well. We'll see you there next week. Membershipworkshop.com. If you're not registered, go there now. Friends, thanks for participating in the chat. I see you. So many of you saying the Armored Creator says, I'll be there. Thank you, Brianna. Brianna just said these workshops are better than most paid programs. Thank you for that. Appreciate you, buddy. Let's see here. I see Marie just talking about the panels, saying it's super inspiring. Let's see here. Road Trips from Scratch said, I'm excited for this workshop. Definitely be excited. It's going to be amazing. All right, friends, with that, I'm just going to end. Encourage you, come join us. Membershipworkshop.com. We'll see you next week. You're awesome. Bye, everybody.